So what age was that when you tapped in with YG?
So I tapped in with YG at age 20.
Okay.
And he was like 18. And so it was a blessing because I was dealing with one of my baby daddies. And I was telling God, like, I need to get away from him. He was a blood, you know.
Not Snoopy, a different one.
Yeah, not that dude.
Okay, so when you start working with YG, though, is he even successful yet?
He had just got signed to Def Jam, like literally a week later.
Okay.
But I've been hearing his music. So they was like, you know that boy that sing, F it up girl, go on, F it up girl. I'm like, oh yeah. I was thinking he was from the IE, I didn't know. Politics started going around. It was a guy, Big B from 20s, rest in peace, Big B. Big B was like, y'all need to link up, because, you know, I grew up in the 20s. So he's like, yeah, I'm managing him, da-da-da. I'm like, all right, hook it up. But originally, I met YG's friend Ace. Randomly, I used to do hair at that time. I'm doing my friend's twisties or whatever. Her name is Naka. So I'm doing her hair. She like, yeah, the homie's about to come. So a nigga named Jay Creasy, Ace came. They like, oh, you'll be perfect for the homie. You could do promo for pushers. I'm like, promotion? Yeah, we need cute girls. I'm like, well, y'all know I sing, right? I don't know why I said that. And I just said it. And he was like, sing for the homie. So I ended up singing. Next thing you know, YG was like, I want her. You know, I started singing with him. Within that same week, I ended up meeting Chris Brown too, through some other friends. So it just seemed like all of the musically inclined people were coming into my life.
Right.
So I'm like, well, what do I do? Of course, I'm so hood bound. I'm looking at anybody in the industry like, oh, Illuminati. You know, it was around that time. Yeah, I was like, oh, no, they're saying don't sign no contracts. You guys do. You guys are the eye. You know, it was around that time. Just so
if YG was already
naive.
in the Illuminati.
It's Chris Brown.
Right. But what the was he doing?
Right.
Just being a dude.
Right. And I realized that once I hung around them, because I'm like, I'm about to dibble and dabble with both of them, period, just to see what catches. So I'm over here making music with YG, over here in the jacuzzi with Chris Brown.
And you're trying to keep it secret?
Low key, because,
like,
you know,
from each other?
Yeah, from each other.
Okay.
And then it just came out, because I think one time I was with YG and then somebody called, one of my model friends, was like, Chris Brown wants you to sing for him at Kitchen 24 on Sunset for his birthday. I'm like, okay. But because I was already like in the studio with YG, I'm like, won't you just come with me? And he's like, okay. I bring YG and all hell broke loose. Chris Brown was like, bitch, what are you doing?
Him and YG weren't on good terms?
They didn't even really know each other. But then after that, they had a song called Hell Yeah or something that they made.
Okay.
Hosted by like DJ Illwood or something.
I could imagine, you know, if you got two guys who have egos and there's a girl that is overlapping with both of them. And
then there was another girl who played on Baldwin Hills. She, rest in peace too, her name is Garen. She was like a model. And she ran to YG. And Chris Brown was like, now you got my bitches getting up, running to you? Hell no, Tanea, get the f out of here. You bringing who up in here? I'm like, you know, the boy that sings Tooted and Booted, you know, he's on the radio right now. I don't give a f, bitch, I'm Chris Brown. So, but they ended up being cool with each other. You know, it's always bros over hoes. So
right, that's true.
They ended up.
So, okay, elephant in the room.
Yeah.
Young, successful dudes. There's a girl, she wants to make it in the music business. Were there sexual requirements or sexual relationships that were aligned with these narratives in your career? If I'm YG and there's going to be a chick, I'm giving her the opportunity to sing on all my songs, probably there's going to have to be some neck involved, right?
Not necessarily, because I originally met YG through his friend. So the friend took first dibs on me, like, this is my girl.
Ah, okay.
I'm bringing her into you, YG, so you take care of my girl.
Right. That could stop this narrative.
That saved me, and I liked it, because if I was just a random girl that was just necking these niggas off, it would be a tooted and booted type of thing. I would be here today and gone tomorrow. So I'm like, oh yeah, I'm glad I got my position. Like when Ashanti came out, they probably thought she was Ja Rule. No, she's fucking Irv Gotti, even though he has a wife. But you know, shit like that. So that was my position. But you know, it's the look. All the homies thought, oh yeah, she YG. So we let them think what they want to think.
And never got there. Okay. That's cool. That's impressive. You must have quite the resolve to turn him down. It was never like, you never got the vibe of like, damn, He's feeling me. Because the relationship with his homie didn't last, right?
Right.
Right.
And then later on, after a while, he ended up signing me to 400 Records. And I'm like, oh, you want me now? What's tea? But I think a lot of people like what I bring to the table. You know, they know if I f this girl, she's a little bit toxic. I'm going to have to be ready for it. But I do want her around. You know, I like her company. I like her talent. I like what she brings to the table. But I don't know, because she be...
When you were signed to 400, who else was on the label at that time?
Slim, 400.
This whole era, Sad Boy Loco and
Sad
all
Boy
that
Loco.
shit, right? Okay.
And it was really just us three on the roster. Kamaya came after me because I left.
Okay.
So when I left, he had to fill in the quotas. And I'm like, I like Kamaya music, though, for real. She's tight. Anybody from the Bay, they always have this, really? Yeah.
She has a great personality.
And her story, I've seen like a few of her interviews. Her story was kind of close to mine. She was saying that YG didn't give her creative control. The same shit. So I'm like, I didn't want to be the one to say it. But since she had the platform at that time, go ahead.
You got to give it to him that, like, it was pretty early in his career, and he was going out of his way to really try to do the label thing. And honestly, like, I see so many people try to do the label thing. Even somebody like Gucci Mane, who's like a massive legend, rich as still seems like he has a hell of a time doing it. And even
it's very hard. That's why I gave YG so many passes. I never really talked bad about him at all. I may have been kind of mad, like, why you didn't do what you said you was gonna do? But I had to understand what he was up against. These deals, he's dealing with Def Jam, then going to Interscope. And it's like, when they don't believe in you, you have to really prove yourself. You get what I'm saying? Then he's affiliated with certain things that will kind of like hinder their belief until they're on dick again. You get what I'm saying? So I understood. And yeah, it is a hassle dealing with a lot of artists. And then when you're signed to an artist, the artist has to think about themselves first before they get around to you.
Right.
So I used to be on eggshells, like, please, please, please. But you know, things happen for a reason. I learned a lot with him. He got shot while I was signed with him. We experienced a lot.
When did it officially end?
It officially ended like all the way going into 2017, because the contract started in 2015. It was supposed to be for a year, but I kind of I think stretched it a little bit longer.
Okay.
And I was like, you only signed me to an artist development deal? Like, nigga, I'm trying to take this to the end on some Young Money shit. But he's like, and people would come in as I was signing him, like, we're looking for writers for Rihanna. People been waiting on songs from Rihanna for a long time. Warner Group or whatever will walk into our sessions. Oh, for SZA, for Kalani, for K. Michelle. And YG be like, no, she cannot. She's with 400 Records. She can't write for nobody.
But you always wanted to do the songwriter thing as well?
Yes, because I write all my music. So when we first started, that was the thing. Like when we started in 2000, well, when I came around 2009 and 10, his whole thing was, we used to be on publishing deals. Oh, niggas is getting publishing deals. We could get about 200 racks. We could da-da-da. Then distribution deals came along the line. But I always wanted a publishing deal, you know, to write a few songs. And then, but he told me, oh, if you write a song for somebody, they're not going to respect you for you. You're just going to be their writer.
Right.
And I'm listening to all of this cap, but I'm like, if you didn't have no intentions on putting me out there, you might as well let me get a check real quick so I could get me a house.
Right.
I got kids, you know what I'm saying?
For sure.